woman trope. And I feel like we have been attempting to deconstruct that trope for a little while,
Mhm.
talking about boundaries, talking about self care and self love,
Yeah.
talking about burning the cape. These are discussions that have been in the Black women's sphere for a while now. We're talking about burn the cape, sit down, exercise, do all of that. But there is a question that I had. I mean, this is one of the comments I got last night. I feel as Black women, we don't talk about depression and anxiety enough, or mental health in general. I hate the idea of being a strong Black woman and bearing the weight of the world on our shoulders. How do we start to put those burdens down and start focusing on our well being and mental health? So, that is a question that goes perfectly with what you just said. So, I'm going to toss that at you. How do we put those burdens down?
Well, the first thing we have to do is acknowledge how we got here. And there's several different things that go into it, and it can go back to slavery, and how we were made to do everything for the family. Whenever the family was separated, if the father was sold to a different place, we still had to take care of the kids, and not only our kids, but the kids of the slave master. We had to do that as well. We had to take care of them. We had to cook and clean for them, and we really didn't have time for ourselves. And as time went by, there was Jim Crow. We were still working for white people, or we could still get harmed if we didn't do what they said. And now that can still happen, not in the same ways, but we can get those microaggressions at work, which I think are very macro. I don't even know why they named it that. Well, we can have those types of things happen at work, or just as you can see, going to a park or whatever, people will ask you, do you belong here? Like,
Right.
like there's still an overseer on a plantation or something. And so, daily we have these stressors that are placed on us, whether anyone says anything or not. A lot of it is body language. We can feel it when we walk into a room. These people don't really care for us, or we have to overperform to make sure that we can move up in a company. We got to smile, because if we don't smile, people are going to say, oh, she's aggressive, she got an attitude problem, we don't want to work with her. So we're taking on these things as far as professionally, but at home too, in our communities. Unfortunately, there have been a lot of men who didn't step up and do what they were supposed to do, and we didn't have a choice, because if we didn't do it, the kids wouldn't get fed, or
Right.
even some of the men wouldn't get fed either. So we got here for a lot of different reasons, but to try to break down some of that. And I think the name changes, but I think right now people are still talking about soft life on TikTok.
Yeah.
um, so to live a softer life, um, you have to have boundaries. You have to know when to say no to somebody, and that's a complete sentence. You don't have to explain yourself. If someone asks you for a favor, you can say no, and they'll be like, well, why? You don't have to explain if you don't want to, but you can. um
Yeah.
and even if you say, I just don't feel like it, that's enough. um
Yeah.
because you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. um Cutting people off who harm you, which is kind of difficult, especially if they're family and friends. But that has to happen, because the people that are around you, the way people treat you is a reflection of yourself. And so if you're allowing people to use you, even though like, I don't have the money, but I'm going to keep giving them money,
Right.
it's not okay. They know you don't have it, and they keep asking you, so they don't respect you. So you can either cut them off or set some good boundaries and say, I can't do that for you anymore. And that may be difficult for some people to hear, because they're used to you being there for them. And they might say, you changed, you're not the same person. Yeah, I did change. I'm not the same person. I'm somebody who cares about me, and I'm going to put my needs first so that I am better able to help you. So
Yeah.
we have to cut those people off. We also have to allow ourselves to feel the feelings. So we try to say, I'm being strong for my kids. I don't want them to see me cry or something like that. And I get that, but if your children never see you cry, they will never know it's okay to cry.
Right.
You don't have to.
And we need to be able to experience emotions so that we can have the emotional intelligence to know how to work through situations.
Yeah.
We're all going to get mad, we're all going to get stressed, we're all going to get frustrated. That's life. How
Mhm.
do you work through those things without completely just giving up, shutting down, and going into a little hole? That's where people like have being angry, being passionate, being all these things are not bad things. Anger could be a fire starter. It can start a movement. But if you just stay in that situation of anger, that's where the issue goes. I mean, awry. So that's where, it's like, yes, maybe I am angry, but anger is the appropriate emotion for this particular situation. And
Yeah.
it has caused me to act angry, but I am not an angry woman. So
Yeah.
that's where people are conflating two different things. Thank you for that. So just an FYI, I do have to do a hard stop at 10 o'clock.